Hey, everybody, welcome back to Couch Critics. I am, as always, your co host Josh, alongside.
Dave, I guess it's
Maybe.
something like
Is
that.
it Dave?
Every single time I act like, where'd this microphone come from? What are we doing here? What's going on?
What?
Taken by surprise and back every single time. What's going on, man? How are
It's
you?
like, I'm doing good. No, you remind me of Will Ferrell as Ron Burgundy, how he reads. When he
Whatever's
reads
on
it, he reads whatever's on there and reads it with the punctuation.
You need to
I'm
give
Ron
me better
Burgundy.
copy, man. If
I
I'm
do.
going to read this, if I'm going to do this show word for word, I need better
Yeah.
copy.
Yeah, peek behind the curtain. This is 100% scripted. We planned all of this.
Unbelievably, really well scripted. It seems so
well.
natural and improvised and sloppy and meandering and hard to follow.
Wow. Yeah, no. Oh, too funny. No,
well,
man, I'm doing good.
Yeah, things are good, right? Like, it's been one of those busy weeks for me. I'm sure it has been for you. It's exciting to be back here, as always.
Yeah,
doing this is highlight of the week.
This is, yeah. So I am getting ready to do a guest spot on, well, by the time this comes out, that episode will have already aired somewhere else, but there's a Hot Mess Espresso it's like a mental health.
Is that an offshoot of the comedians and guards with coffee? It's podcasters
Right.
with espresso.
Exactly. That'd be awesome. That's a great show right
It's a terrible
there.
joke. You were sounding like you were going to say something serious, and I thought
I was. No, so Hot Mess Espresso is a show about mental health struggles and taking care of your mental health. And I'm going to be going on to talk about how podcasting has been so good for my mental health, and I think for both of us, as an outlet, as something to look forward to, as something to use to decompress and feel good and just get lost in.
It is a version of anytime I've had a struggle in life or downtimes, or even somebody else is going through something. I always tell them the same thing. Any traumatic moments, I say you should try to journal at least. Just write down some feelings. Nobody has to see it. You could burn the pages after, but just take the time to sit down and just write your thoughts, write your feelings, your fears, all that stuff. Journaling, it's huge.
Yep.
This is just our version of that.
Absolutely. 100%. We get to have conversation, not always the deepest conversation, but it's a conversation that we get to laugh. Mm-hmm. We get to joke, sometimes cry, mostly because we were laughing, and we maybe pooped our pants because we laughed too hard and we recorded too long.
There's a couch in, just like a therapist's office.
Just like a therapist's office.
It's just, there's a couch critics probably out there somewhere where it's the therapist talking to people.
It's a couch.
It would be couch critic.
It's couch critique.
Critiques from the couch, or critiques on the couch. Something like that.
So anyways, let's talk about what we've been watching.
Well, let me ask you this first of all.
Please do.
I know recently, this will come out a little bit later, but I was talking to you about the show, The Lowdown, the Ethan Hawke show. What's his name? Losing his name. The creator. But anyways,
Sterling Harjo.
Sterling Harjo, thank you. Fantastic new voice, creator, all that kind of stuff like that. But I was talking to you about watching The Lowdown. I think you watched the first episode.
I watched the first episode, and then I paused to go back and watch Reservation Dogs.
Yeah. And have you watched how much? Have you watched a couple or one or two?
No, I still only watched the one because so Wednesday Night Frights also takes up time, so I had to get caught up on the new show Welcome to Derry to talk about on that show. So I'm actually going to
sneak preview. How is that show?
It is actually pretty good. I've enjoyed it so far. With the third episode, as we're recording, the third episode comes out tomorrow as we're recording. But it's actually really well done. Similar to another show that we'll talk about here in a minute. The order for the show, when it was first ordered by the network, they ordered 3 seasons up front. Similar to the show we'll talk about here a little bit later. And the way that they're doing it as they're doing anthology. So the first TV show, Welcome to Derry, takes place in 1962 in Derry. And then the next one, they're going to go back in time to the 1920s. And then the third is going to go all the way back to like the Native American, to the origination of Pennywise. So it's doing this reverse anthology type.
I don't know enough, I guess, about Pennywise. Does it go back that far? Is there lore?
No, the lore.
They're going to create the lore.
They're creating the lore. Okay. Yes, that's cool. They're creating a lore that does all of that.
I have to be honest. I was curious. I watched the first 10-ish minutes. I think at least till the credits, which is there's a long opening. And it looks fantastic. It looks very.
And it is a very graphic opening.
Yeah,
it's a pretty graphic.
It
states its purpose right away.
Mm-hmm. Right. Never misled.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. And if you are a fan of Stephen King, there are several really good.
Is he the guy in the wheelchair? The smartest man?
Yes. Yeah.
Stephen Hawking.
With the robot voice?
Yeah. Hawking. I'm sorry.
Hawking. No, if you're a fan of Stephen King, there's some great little Easter eggs to other King things.
Okay.
Within this. The most obvious one that you actually find out right off in the first episode is one of the main characters set in 1962 is an Air Force professional by the name of Richard Halloran. Dick Halloran is the cook at the Overlook Hotel in The Shining. So we've got a connection to this other story. So there's little connections, little Easter eggs. They go into a vintage knick-knack type store, like an antique store kind of thing. And it is the precursor to the store called Needful Things from the book and movie Needful Things. So there's little bits.
I just know the Rick and Morty episode of Needful Things, but
yeah,
it's way funny.
And Rick and Morty is 100%. Well, and I think that's why Rick and Morty speaks so well to people of our generation, because it has Easter eggs to all these different things, from Back to the Future on to Needful Things. Even every episode has something like that. But so Welcome to Derry, 2 episodes in, it's really good.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. It looked like it. I was going to let it build up a little bit. But Reservation Dogs, I think, and I'll say it again as I told you before, The Lowdown is one of the best shows I think that's out there currently. It's just ended recently. I don't know when this, this will be out in 2 years. So season 3 just ended, I think I'll be saying. But anyway, Reservation Dogs does not tie in to The Lowdown.
No, but I want to understand the voice. I think,
and not only the voice, but like I said, it's all set in the same area. And so it's almost nice. There's something about knowing the Reservation Dogs community exists at the same place and roughly the same time as the other one. That's what kind of makes it.
You're in that world.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's insanely good. I'm excited for you to check it all out.
And I want to watch. After watching the first episode, I honestly think that my wife will enjoy the show as well, because they often use this as a negative, but I'm using it 100% as a positive in this case. She's very much a social justice warrior. She wants to be there for those who are held back and those who are and pushed aside by society. So I think that show very much will speak to her heart. So I think that's why I haven't watched another episode.
So does The Lowdown.
So I want to bring her in.
The Lowdown
Well, that's why I think. And
his
what did we decide?
Character is a social justice warrior.
Yeah, that's all Ethan Hawke's out to do, right?
I think he's a truthorian. I think he says instead of
he does. Yes, he did. In the very first episode, that's how he describes himself.
And a hillbilly Indiana Jones.
And he is a hillbilly. But yeah, so yeah, I gotta watch that. But speaking of you mentioned that this show's going to come out in 2 years. It's really weird doing a podcast like this because we are, as humans, not just you and I, but humans, we are busy people. So we made a conscious effort to build up a backlog of episodes. So if we have to miss a week or whatever. So it's really weird always thinking like we're recording this the beginning of November, knowing it's coming out the end of December. It's a very weird world trying to think about things in that way. But we're not here to break news. That's not what we're trying to do.
No,
we're here just to have fun and talk about
it. Here's one thing about that is slightly flawed. I'm sure big events that we're discussing now will seem maybe more passé by the time. Here's a great example. Is last night, if anybody cares, Pluribus, which is Vince Gilligan's new show dropped on Apple.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped 2 episodes. I watched the first one only because I want more.
Same.
I want a little bit of a runway so I can watch a couple in a row. Or I always want to have one in reserve because I can't go a week hoping for a closeout. The last episode of the Lowdown I haven't watched yet, but the one before that really pisses me off how they ended it because it was too late on a work night to stay up and watch another one, but I really wanted to. Anyways, those kind of things drive me crazy, so I need a runway that I can go with. But that just dropped. Now, in 7 weeks or whatever, people will be like, oh, that whole show's over.
Yeah, by the time this episode drops, we will have probably watched every episode.
All of that being said, and I'm sure we'll discuss it more in the future and everything else.
Yes.
I did watch the first episode.
So did I.
And I am a huge Vince Gilligan fan. And I feel like if anybody hasn't seen it, if you don't have Apple, borrow Apple. I don't know what you have to do, get it. Because if you're a fan, it's Vince Gilligan doing a little bit more of his sci-fi roots where he started.
Going back to his X-Files days and whatnot.
I feel like Rhea Seehorn, who was in Better Call Saul, and obviously one of the best actresses on television.
Fantastic actor.
Somehow didn't win any Emmys, which is...
Or get nominated,
which is insane. So she, better for this, I hope, because her performance is so strong. She cries better than just about anybody on television. But it's I feel like on the set of Better Call Saul, they were maybe sitting around talking, and she says something because Vince Gilligan used to write on the X-Files, and she was probably like, I love your episodes of the X-Files. They're really great. Is there ever something you didn't get to make that you want to make on the X-Files? And then he was like, well, I have this idea that I couldn't get accomplished. And that's what this show is, I feel like. I'm just speculating. I have no idea. It's a brilliant
so
creative
I
person.
have to be, I got to be perfectly honest with you. Mm-hmm. I started watching it, and when it first started, I'm like, okay, it's typical like sci-fi thing. You're at like I can't remember what the name of it is. No, but you start off, you're at this observatory station where they're monitoring radio waves and whatever from outer space. And it's just your typical show. You're meeting the characters, and it's over the course of roughly a full year, right? Because it's 400 days or something, and then all of a sudden it's 70 days, whatever. And this whole episode is counting down to right now. So it's this countdown from 400 days ago up until this moment. The first, and I paused it when about 5 minutes into the action the tone of the show changing, and I went back to mark the time. Through 28 minutes of this episode, I was like, this is kind of dry. What are we doing? What's going on, buddy? And at that is like 28 minutes and 3 seconds. The real story that we're going to be following from here on out, the last 30 minutes of this episode, it completely changes, gives you a kind of
creepy.
They Live kind of a vibe. The Stepford Wives weird vibe going on.
Hive mind stuff.
Hive mind, yeah. It totally changed, and I'm like, oh no, this is the show. Now we're in. And I don't mean that the first 28 minutes is a bad show. First 28 minutes just was establishing. It was establishment drama. You understand that Rhea Seehorn's character Carol, you're learning that she's an author, and she doesn't really even maybe like what she writes.
She's writing romance novels, and they're very popular, and she's very wealthy from it. And she hates it. She wants to be a more established.
She wants to use her intellect, not her whatever.
Right.
But there, even in that first 28 minutes, there's some really cool stuff. The systematic hive mind where they're doing the DNA swab, the mouse swab, just how systematic and how machine-like.
Synchronized.
Yeah, it's synchronized. All of those all the people are working. You don't know anything. We haven't learned anything. We don't know how it happened or where it came from. We just know that we know it came from several 100 million light years away. Right.
But really a recipe.
It's a recipe. And that she's one of 12.
Right. And we have to figure out why and where and all that stuff. And so that's, I'm sure, going to be the establishment is her trying to track down these other people. She loses the only person she cares about. She's gay. Yeah. I mean, I believe she's gay.
They don't say that. They don't say that she is, but when she's back home and she brought her I'm assuming it's her wife. She's definitely her manager, her publicist.
Yeah.
When she drags her in the house, there's a picture, and it looks like it's a wedding picture of the two of them, right? Or her and another woman, and I'm assuming it's her. Mm-hmm. It's not the most clear picture. So yeah, I think they're alluding to that fact, but they're not.
It doesn't making matter. It's inconsequential to the.
It's inconsequential to the story. It's just a fact of the character, not a story.
Vince Gilligan has this really fantastic ability to draw out characters and to really give them background and give them life.
Yes.
In the sense that all of the stuff, like she obviously had DUI problems because that's but it also he utilizes that was that Occam's razor, like he utilizes that as now we know there's that device is going to hold the car from going early in the episode, and then of course it is plot critical later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, absolutely.
It's the gun. Is that the gun thing? Is the Occam's razors? Right, or
whatever it is.
If you see a gun in the first act, then
Chekhov's gun. Chekhov's gun.
Thank you.
I was going to say Occam's razor. Isn't Occam's razor the?
It's another literature trope. I can't remember.
It's when it's the principle that when all else is proven to not be true, that this one that the whatever is left has to be the case.
So, but he does this great job of giving these characters life and depth and making them feel lived in, all those things like that. So he does that. There's a very insanely creepy element to the movie when everybody is surrounding her. I liked it a lot, but I'm a huge fan. I'm not a huge sci-fi fan, but I did feel like I was watching a long episode of Twilight Zone.
And that's where I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I could end up getting lost because I don't love sci-fi. However, knowing how well he writes and how well she's a great actress.
She's the character we identify with right off the bat. At least I identify with her. She's you know in her position. Like she does such a great job of being the John Every Woman. You know what I mean? I don't know if
absolutely.
You can't say John Every Woman, but whatever.
Jane Every Woman.
Jane Every Woman. But she does such a good job, so she's basically us in that situation.
And I don't want to badmouth Anna Gunn, but I don't love Skylar in Breaking Bad.
She was my least favorite part of that.
Betsy Brandt was my least favorite.
Yeah, she's pretty bad too. But I think a lot of people are overacting around Bryan Cranston, but I think that gave him the balance, I think, to be the cool hand on set most.
But with the way that those two characters, specifically the main women in Breaking Bad, you start wondering, well, maybe Vince Gilligan doesn't do a strong female character. But then you get Better Call Saul, and Rhea Seehorn is so absolutely fantastic,
multi-dimensional character,
so good,
her own thoughts and feelings, her own everything, very well
and
done.
It goes to show that the reason that they were that way in Breaking Bad is because they were actually just ancillary characters. They weren't the make or break to the arc of the show, so they didn't get developed. Once he got to develop a female character with his ideas, his writing team, and an amazing actress like Rhea Seehorn, you get that other.
How she didn't get an Emmy nomination for that last episode of Better Call Saul. She's crying on the bus. I don't know if I've seen acting that good.
Yeah. Well, and she starts off the very first episode of Pluribus. She's doing the tortured screams and
dude, when she's driving away,
that breakdown,
and her lover, wife, friend, whatever it is in the bed of the truck. And it's just her face crying, and it's a single shot. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm sure there's some green screen involved, whatever, but all this stuff is happening behind her. People are following the truck along.
You're seeing the weird lights and everything in it.
Is, I mean, it's amazing, and exactly, and I think she'll finally get some recognition in this show.
The makeup team that they're using. The way her eyes get more around her eyes get more and more red, that raw look, it's subtle and it grows and it is so well done. I am very optimistic that it'll continue.
I hope it doesn't get too X-Filesy, and again, I don't mean that in a bad way.
No,
not yucking anybody's yum. I did think the X-Files was a great show.
There are
it wasn't my
some
favorite
X-Files I like better than others.
I
I'm
like
just
Erie,
not...
Indiana, not X-Files.
Right, that's more my that's more my speed.
Little kid sci-fi stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm not a huge fan of the really intense, deep sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. But we'll see how it goes. What else have you been watching? Did you watch anything else?
So I watched a bunch of stuff. So on that topic, I think last weekend I started watching. I just happened to watch some pre-code movies, which is the obviously that silent era, 1928 to 1934, 1935, before the Hays Code really got forceful and everything else.
Freaking Joseph Brain.
Yeah, and I started watching. I think one of them, because they're also really short. Like, they're very weird if you watch these pre-code movies from the 30s.
They're 70 minutes.
Yeah, maybe 80. I mean, you might have an hour and a half max, but they also abruptly start a lot and they end. Like, they don't give you a resolution. There's there's no real resolution to any of those. They just say, like, oh, the gangster got shot, and then it goes the end. And done. like a serial show.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
So anyways, I started watching these, Mel and we watched I think 2, and then I realized, oh, these are both, Joan Blondell was a big actress in the pre-code time.
Oh,
and we didn't plan on it, but we ended up watching 4 Joan Blondell movies in a row.
Wow, it's a series of Joan Blondell.
And they're all like an hour and 20 minutes. And it was all like over a weekend. But I didn't plan that. That just happened to be, she was in a lot of these movies. So a couple of things I did want to discuss. One's called Night Nurse. The difference.
I remember I watched Night Nurse, not recently, but I watched.
Some dark material. Some kids are being starved. Yeah. Some very wealthy family has these kids who are being starved to death, so that way the inheritance will go to Clark Gable is one of his first roles, and he plays the evil guy. He's the chauffeur of this rich family, keeping the mom drunk, the dad's dead, and trying to starve the kids so he can get the inheritance. Like, very dark stuff. Very dark. Good. Really, really good. Barbara Stanwyck is, I think, the lead, but Joan Blondell, of course, is in it, and beautiful as always. I watched Blonde Crazy, which is her and James Cagney. They're con artists. This would fit very well into our con episodes. It's clever. It's good. Jimmy Cagney's always great. It's fun to see him in the roles that are a little funnier and things like that. I watched a movie called The Crowd Roars, which is not that great about racing. But there's one I watched that I have meant to watch many, many times. It's called 3 on a Match. Have you seen that?
I have not watched it. I know the movie, though. Yeah. How was it?
It's way... I see. The more I tell you, it's okay. It's almost 100 years old. But I'll just say this.
Don't spoil it. It's only 95.
It's very short. And you realize they fit so much into like
63 minutes.
63 minutes. The amount they fit into this, I urge you to watch this. Find it and watch it. Now, here's the reasoning. It's 1932. Right. I will tell you that the movie starts off and you just think you're watching a lighthearted, not light, but like a movie about 3 girls who were friends in school and they reconnect later and one's very wealthy. It doesn't end that way. It's pretty dark. It's also it's an early use of drugs being not obviously, but obviously being discussed. Heroin, cocaine, like
not
really. Yeah. But anyways, 3 on a Match. It ended darker so much so that Amy and I looked at that was amazing. And I said, do you realize that was only 60 minutes long? That was 1 hour. It shocked me because I felt like I had just watched a 2.5 hour movie.
Right. Well, and we were just talking about Pluribus, it's the length of an episode of Pluribus.
Yeah. And they fit a tremendous amount.
Beginning, middle, end. Yeah.
Let me just say this also. It happened to coincide, and when it was made and released, it's a little bit after the Lindbergh baby kidnapping. That's all I need to say. But yeah, it's great. Absolutely fantastic. Of those movies, and Night Nurse is great. Blonde Crazy is pretty good. 3 on a Match is absolutely amazing. And
it's the star of the show.
I watched another movie. I watched actually a couple more, but one that's worth of noting is I watched a movie called Powwow Highway.
Okay, so I have not seen this movie. I know the movie. I've not seen.
Do you know the movie?
Yeah.
What do you know about the movie? I had never heard of it.
I know the cover box of the movie. Let me say that.
Let's see. I'm gonna look it up. Powwow Highway. It is it's a native movie. I think they're I don't want to say they're Cherokee. They're not. They're
right, but
Cheyenne.
it's got a couple of people that people recognize. A. Martinez, who was in a lot of things. Wes Studi, Amanda Weiss, who was in Better Off Dead, is in it.
Yeah,
but I've
small,
never
and she's
seen
terrible.
the movie.
She's terrible in
What?
by the
Yeah.
way. The only
Is she?
blonde white girl in the movie, the only white
Yeah.
girl in the movie is terrible. She's trying to do a Texas accent, and we all know her from Better Off Dead as
Right.
Beth.
As the yuppie Beth. Yeah.
Yeah, and the one that, so anyways, it's very distracting, but whatever. It doesn't the movie is let me put it this way. The movie is pretty poorly done. It's not very well done. The script is so full of holes you could drive cars through it.
Could you drive the Pontiac through it
or the
Buick from it?
His car, his famous car through it. But anyways, if you watch Reservation Dogs, the main guy in it is the guy from Reservation Dogs who famously played the Uncle whatever his name is. But he's one of the main characters on that as a young man. It's good. It's 1988, so it's this first taste into a native voices getting out there on the screen. It's got a couple of funny bits, but really it's good to watch something that brings so many people in. Graham Greene, it's one of his early movies.
Oh, I like Graham.
He's also in Lowdown. He just recently passed. R.I.P. Graham Greene.
Yeah.
You don't know, you do know because everybody knows him. But the other guy in the movie that my wife and I couldn't figure out who the hell he was, but we recognize him, A. Martinez. He's one of those faces, but we both know him from She-Devil. He's the boy toy in She-Devil with Meryl Streep, which is a terrible way to,
Yeah, for me, A. Martinez, I want to say that I always think of, because it's the first time I saw his name, it was in the old cowboy movie, the John Wayne movie from the 70s, the Cowboys. He's he's one of the Cowboys. He would have been really young. The more troubled of the Cowboys. He's kind of a fighter, but yeah, real young. Son. Back in the Cowboys with he's
a Blackfish. Historically, Blackfish was So anyway, that the Powwow Highway. I don't know if I would recommend it, but I would not recommend it. It's cool to see a native voice.
Yeah, you should see it. Yeah,
it's very full of problems in script, but it's still okay. It's still cool. Has some moments.
But for I did watch a couple
I did watch a couple other things, but let me go to you. What have you been watching?
So I have been watching. So first, shout out to friend of the show and my co-host on Wednesday Night Frights, Mika G. She recently was in a movie and it had its premiere. They did the premiere down in Orlando, Florida, or near Orlando, Florida.
What's the movie called?
It's called an Earl E. Christmas, like an early Christmas. And Earl E. is the main character.
Okay.
She is friends with the writer-director, a guy named Durden Godfrey. This guy, Earl Eubanks, he decides to fake a terminal illness to escape all of these debts. He's a degenerate gambler, like not a great dude. So he pretends to be sick, and his plans begin to unravel when all of his family starts to arrive for one final Christmas celebration with him, and then all that dysfunction and old family grudges and everything, whatever. It's everyone's lying to everyone. It's funny. There's a lot going on. Mika is
a comedy?
It's a comedy, yeah. And Mika's in it. She plays the girlfriend of one of the siblings. I think, I can't remember who all. There's so many people in this movie that are linked. Some are siblings, some are cousins, but she's the girlfriend of one of the characters. It's funny. It's if you go on, it dropped on the Roku channel, on the CW's streaming service, so it's on a few different places. And
really?
We always support
CW
our
has
friends.
A streaming service, you say?
CW has a streaming service.
I didn't know that.
But theirs is free if you have cable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get it's just free for cable subscriber.
I
You
don't
don't
really
have to
watch
pay
the CW on cable, and I do have cable, so I don't know if I'll go to the
right?
streaming service. But
I'm not a huge
I will
CW
seek
guy.
this movie out either way.
Yeah, but we are big fans of supporting our friends.
Oh yeah,
so I definitely made a
friend of the show.
to watch
She's
it.
a part of the show.
She is a part of the show. She's part of the network.
She's a part of this network.
She is a part of the network. But yeah, it's actually really kind of funny. There is a character, and I don't remember the actual actor's name, and I feel terrible for this, but Mika kind of described him as Temu Snoop Dogg. And when you see him, you're like, oh yeah, I get it.
Okay.
But it's funny. It's
is that like low budget gangster? Budget Snoop.
Yeah. Temu is the Chinese version of Amazon, where everything's a knockoff of a knockoff.
Yeah.
But
now they're not going to be sponsors of the show now.
Temu's not going to sponsor. That's all right. I probably wouldn't accept.
But Amazon still will.
We still got Amazon. Amazon, we're here for you.
We just need to return our calls. If they return our calls, then
right.
We'll go from there.
No, it's funny. It's silly. It's got some stuff that
independent film, right?
Men enjoy.
It's indie.
Independent film. By that I mean it's got attractive women.
I get that.
But yeah, give it a watch. It's funny. It's got its moments, and it's like 90 minutes. Give it a watch.
We're doing nothing if we don't get people to support independent film.
Absolutely. Well, and that's what we talk about all the time. You and I watch a lot of movies. I don't talk about every movie that I watch because no, we don't. But we don't talk about every single movie that we watch, because some of them get talked about by everybody.
Yeah.
But then there are some that you're like, man, that's something that more people need to know about.
Right.
So I want to shout out Early Christmas for that.
I could do a whole episode on one battle after another, because I'd love it so much.
We absolutely could.
We could do it. I could talk for almost as long as the movie is, but that's been covered. There's no need. But who is talking about 3 on a match? That's the real question.
Exactly. No one's talking.
Or the Lindbergh baby from 1931.
The Lindbergh baby does not get the publicity he deserves. Poor Bruno.
So what if
Bruno
he died?
Hoffman, who probably didn't do it.
Yeah. You don't think he did it?
The last movie, I only want to touch on it real quick because I didn't like it, and I'm really bummed about that, is Ethan Coen's Honeydome.
Yeah.
I love Margaret Qualley. I love Aubrey Plaza. I love Chris Evans. I love Charlie Day. All of these people. The idea, Honey, played by Margaret Qualley, she's this private investigator outside of Bakersfield, California, and there's all these suspicious deaths that are linked to this shady church led by Chris Evans. Sounds funny. Sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like something that I'm excited to watch. Jennifer and I watched it last night. Jennifer is my wife. I should have said my wife.
She was up in the middle. Did you watch it late at night?
No, watched it at about.
You texted me
late at night. Late at night.
I thought you had just finished. Like shit.
No,
you watched the movie at midnight. Look at you go.
I watched it at 8. We watched it about 8:30, so it was over by 10.
Did she like it at all?
No. She liked it even less than I did. I found some of because it's a dark comedy. It's a neo-noir dark comedy. I found some of the dark comedy to be funny. I chuckled a couple of times in those awkward dark comedy chuckles, like, oh, that guy died. But overall, it just didn't. It didn't work. It doesn't. The performances are all fine, but nothing. It's not a Coen Brothers movie. It's an Ethan Coen movie.
They kind of when they've been doing their own things, I feel less inclined to drag. What was the last one that Ethan did when he produced? You saw it.
Oh, yeah, a road trip movie.
You told me about it.
Drive-Away Dolls.
Drive-Away Dolls. You said that
and
was
I
okay.
liked that one.
Okay.
I liked that one.
Yeah.
And that's why I was hopeful for this one.
He wrote and produced Drive-Away Dolls, I think.
I know he co-wrote this one with a lady that I honestly don't remember her name, but Drive-Away Dolls, I want to say that he definitely, which was also again Margaret Qualley. It was the same co-writer. Trisha Cook was his co-writer on both of these movies.
Yeah, they feel very similar. They occupy very similar space in my head. I've never seen either one.
Trisha Cook has been married to Ethan Coen since 1993.
Yeah.
So this is not a Coen brothers movie. This is a Coen married movie.
That's a Coen wedding movie. You should see their wedding film. Frances McDormand is gorgeous.
Steals the show.
And Joel and Ethan just can't stop smoking all the way there at the altar, puffing away on those cigarettes.
So it looks like So I didn't love it. I don't want to drag it down the dirt. It takes too much energy, but it's got some funny parts. There are some things that people like just didn't work.
Worth your time, maybe, but not worth much more than that.
Yeah,
the gist of it.
Yeah, watch it to say you saw it.
Yeah. The only other thing that is worth noting that I watched is, and we've talked about this recently, is a movie called The Wildlife from 1984.
Yeah.
It's hard to find. I had to buy it on like DVD or Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
It's Cameron Crowe wrote it. It's starring a huge cast of people at 1984. It's basically if Fast Times is a pop punk version of the story of these high school kids, The Wildlife is the heavy metal version of high school kids. That's, as I was watching it, I remembered stuff from seeing it when I was younger. It felt darker. It is darker. There's some darker moments. It's good. It's not reviewed very well, even now. And I feel like it deserves a reevaluation because it's not great. And here's the thing. So it was directed by a guy named Art Linson. Art Linson didn't direct a lot of stuff, but he produced a lot of stuff. I'm talking everything from like Fight Club to like Independence Day or whatever. Like he's a big producer. But when the director who they had hired to direct this movie that Cameron Crowe wrote, it was kind of supposed to be a follow-up to Cameron Crowe's Fast Times. The guy who was going to direct it dropped out at the last second. And the studio, Universal, said, well, we're dropping the picture. We don't even want this movie. This movie has some dark material in it. We don't want it unless you can find somebody to direct right away. And so the producer, Art Linson, stepped in and did it. As watching it, knowing that fact, that's where this movie fails, is I think the director. And I mean that because Eric Stoltz is in it, Leah Thompson's in it. Chris Penn is actually the cast.
I've never seen this movie, and I'm looking at this cast. Yeah, I'm looking at this cast, and this is definitely a movie that I'm surprised I haven't seen based on who's in it.
It's almost like they try to bury this movie. And I think that's when we talked about it before, I mentioned that there's some darker material. They talk about Vietnam and PTSD and drug addiction and statutory rape, but like not in the fun.
On Rick Moranis.
It's so insanely funny in the movie, and he makes comments about it because he's supposed to be a yuppie, like trendy at a mall. Anyways, you have to watch it. But one thing you have to realize if you see the Rick Moranis in that is that he made Strange Brew the year before that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on my list. I'm definitely watching. And you know,
it's hard to find.
I totally get what you're saying about Art Linson. His only other directing credit is Bill Murray's original Hunter S. Thompson movie, Where the Buffalo Roam.
Yeah.
Which I do like that movie. It's not nearly as good as the Terry Gilliam stuff later with Johnny Depp, but it's still funny. But yeah, I definitely want to take a look at this movie. Chris Penn, come on, Footloose and The Wildlife. The kid was kicking.
This was supposed to be his breakout role. He's basically doing a little bit of his brother. His dad's in this movie, has a cameo too.
He definitely looks like a Spicoli in there in this.
It's got
clip
the guy from Kill Bill who's Buck, and he's there to while she's in a coma. Famously, by the way, if you look up the lineage of that guy. I can't remember his name. It's phenomenal. But so the reason, again, this one needs a reevaluation and separate some moments. There is some performances, some acting, some line reads that are not great. Right. They don't come off very well. But I think that's the director's fault. I think the director didn't have experience to tell Eric Stoltz, give me a little more emotion in that.
Right.
Or bring that down a little bit. Or to tell Chris Penn, like, let's take that down 20% and see what you can do. You know what I mean? I don't think he had that in him. So I think he was just putting the pieces together, and that's kind of how it feels, but it's so close. Now, by the way, the kid from Weird Science, Ilana Michael Smith.
Ilan
What's
Mitchell
his name?
Smith. Ilan Mitchell Smith.
I was really close. I was really close
You
to his name.
were right there.
And
You were
most
right
people
there.
don't know him. He's the non-Anthony.
The Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall. They both have 3 names. He's the non-Anthony Michael Hall character, kid from Weird Science. But anyways, he
and
apparently
just to full circle. I'm sorry to interrupt. Just full circle.
No,
Michael Bowen is the actor you're talking about. He plays Vince in this. He's the one from Kill Bill.
And yes, thank you very much. He is in a ton of stuff. We all know him from a bunch of things. He's in Jackie Brown. He's in Kill Bill. He's in a bunch of other movies. But if you look up his
trivia, one of those
his relation to people is weird. The Carradines he's related to, 2 of them, but not to David Carradine, which he starred in a bunch of movies with them. Like the incestuous nature of Hollywood and the nepotism nature of Hollywood never ceases to amaze me. Even to the point that I just realized Maggie and Jake Gyllenhaal, their dad was a director in Hollywood who did ABC after school specials, and that's how they got their in the door. I know. Steven Gyllenhaal. So here's the thing.
You mentioned after school specials. I wasn't going to talk about it, but you brought it up. I watched an after school special the other day.
No, you didn't. On purpose?
I sure did.
Did you learn anything? Was it about stranger danger?
It's not called Stranger Danger. We love you and I, we love the movie Scrubs, right? Like, we're big fans of Scrubs. So I watched this 1994 because it's on YouTube. It's the first kind of starring role for Zach Braff. It is called My Summer as a Girl. He dresses up as a girl to get a job during the summer.
Okay.
So
this is an after-school special?
It's an after-school special from CBS. Yeah.
Just so I'm clear, they all had a reason. They all had a point, some reason to be made, or some lesson they were trying to teach. What was the lesson on this? Don't be who you are, or don't
be yourself.
Don't be a woman. Be yourself.
Don't be a girl. Yeah.
How did he look as a girl?
He lands it.
I'm guessing good. I'm guessing he looked cute.
Yeah, he looked
as a girl.
He's believable. You know? He's much more believable than some. He's more believable than Patrick Swayze and Tu Wong Fu.
Yeah. Well,
but
listen,
he's no John Leguizamo from Tu Wong Fu though either.
If you don't know, Mo makes a pretty good girl in the Three Stooges, but the other 2 do not.
Yeah, the other 2 do not.
Mo, you're like, even though they look very much the same.
This one was not directed by a Gyllenhaal. It was directed by Frank Dolger, who went on to direct things.
Coffee?
Yes, the Dolger's Coffee millionaire. He went on to executive produce 73 episodes of Game of Thrones.
Okay. Well,
but he directed this one episode.
So he's wealthy now.
Yes, he's doing okay for himself. And it was written by, I'm guessing, Mark Harmon's brother, Bruce. I don't know if that's true. Bruce Harmon wrote it. But yeah, that's funny that you brought up. It's called My Summer as a Girl. My Summer as a Girl. Yeah. Definitely really not the greatest movie, but yeah, who doesn't love an after-school special?
They don't really do those. That's our generation's thing, right? We all grew up with them.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck is the guy in the steroids.
Yes.
The what's her name? Helen Hunt doing angel dust and jumping out of a window. You remember that?
Yeah,
there were a lot of them.
Yeah, there was a great one that had Candace Cameron from Full House and Fred Savage from Wonder Years. And Fred Savage is the abusive boyfriend. Fred Savage is a savage in that one.
That's bad casting right there.
He just wanted to show the world he could branch out and do other things. I
could see Ben Savage doing that, but not Fred Savage.
These days, for
sure. But yeah, those things weren't. Do you think it's because the 90s mainstream shows like 90210 and My So-Called Life and things, they took over that position?
Yeah,
on sticking some moral lessons and some things like that into the kids.
Because you remember, like, so there was the after school special, but then during the 80s, the prime time quote unquote family shows, family sitcoms did a very special episode.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight on Facts of Life, George Clooney shows up.
Hey,
like,
wasn't wasn't there the episode of Different Strokes where one of their friends, the little white kid, was molested by like the guy at the bike shop?
Yeah, and there was also the one where they also did the very special episode about busing black kids out to these other schools and stuff. Yeah. They absolutely, but yeah, there was that was the big thing. So I think that's where it started to shift. In the we had that, and then they started doing these very special episodes, and they're like, we can do whole shows like
Nancy Reagan popped up in a bunch of these when she was the first lady. Because the drugs thing, like Punky Brewster, and you're like, why is Nancy Reagan there? And she'd come out and talk to the audience, and tell them, don't do drugs. Just say no. Drugs. My husband's on a bunch of drugs, and he likes jelly beans. Right?
And when he wakes up, he remembers me.
Yeah.
But then he forgets me before bedtime.
We coat his jelly beans in LSD.
So
yeah,
funny.
no, they used to do that. But anyways, yeah, so I think it's a combination. We were really can't force moral lessons, I guess.
We were. We were ham-fisted some moral lessons.
No, I don't think they have that now. I think they at least they figured out how to put it into the like they want to teach people don't fight and don't be mean, don't be a bully. They just work it into the material organically instead of just making a special about a bully,
Right. So I'm not sure if there's any truth to this, but supposedly probably that episode of Saved by the Bell where Jesse gets addicted to caffeine pills was originally supposed to be a heroin addiction. Supposedly that's how it was originally written. Like they wanted to do, or that's the script that they got and they doctored it to, like it was never going to be that, but that's because back then in the 80s, anybody could write a script and send them in.
Yeah.
That's how they asked for scripts from the public back in the day. I'm wondering if it came in now.
Remember this way. Instead of it was amphetamines, right? As she was taking, which is also relevant and everything else. But if they had done the episode on opiates, they probably could have saved a handful of kids for the next generation who didn't know how absolutely awful the pharmaceutical industry was and how much it was going to force pushing opiates on everybody, including me at one time in my life. We've all gone through it. Anybody who's out there, anybody who's dealing with opiate stuff, I tell you, it sucks. It's hard. You'll get through it. I did. Just stay strong. Make a commitment to change. Easy. And just do it.
You will shake. You will want to throw up. You will not feel good, but you will eventually feel better.
So speaking of things we can't stop doing, like opiates, but we did. We did talk recently about, just doing a quick little aside, about some of the movies that we start watching, we just can't stop watching. The movies that, if they're on or whatever, or if I just turn to it for a minute, I'm going to be sucked in. And it started because I have a problem with Scott Pilgrim, which, first of all, I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan. I'm very excited for The Running Man, which by the time this airs will have already been out for 6 weeks, probably streaming.
Well, as we're recording, this is its second day in theaters. So,
it's doing well.
You know what? Maybe I'm going to go to... And this is also 2 days after my birthday, so maybe I'll make my wife take me to that.
You should, although you should see one battle after another, but okay.
It's not playing in any theaters near me anymore.
Oh, no!
Already done its run. I missed it. It's a good thing I have a 75-inch TV in my living room that I can turn on with the surround sound and get lost in.
Yeah,
without an asshole sitting next to me ruffling his popcorn.
I apologize for that, for all the candy I was eating and the snack. Here's a question: when you go to the movie theater and somebody has like a bag of M&Ms or some candy, they also serve candy, but it's in a box. But usually that box has a plastic bag inside of it.
Inside of the box.
What would they have? Do you know in Hollywood, in the filmmaking and everything else, they have special plastic bags, like the chip bags. When you see somebody eating out of a bag of chips, it's not a bag of chips you get at the store. If you didn't notice, it's not creased on the top. It's not heat sealed on the top. It's square and open. It also looks different, like waxy material, because it is. There's special bags that don't make noise because the audio people hate plastic and plastic bags and crinkly things. But I guess those things are, by the way, shout out to the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia podcast for including me in, insanely expensive.
Yes.
That those bags are like hundreds of dollars for each one or whatever, some nuts amount of money. And anyways, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So my plea to anyone, please get your popcorn, get your sodas, get your candies. Open your freaking candy before the trailers begin, before the lights go dark. Open the damn thing, please.
And how about this? For the candy, get it out of the plastic bag that
and pour it into the box.
As you, like an elderly woman, pull one piece out at a time. And you have to dig into the bag every single time. drives me bananas. But anywho, I digress, as I love to say.
We are digressing.
We are digressing. So anyways, go to the movies. I love Edgar Wright.
Me too.
Dead, Spaced. I saw Shaun of the Dead first, then I went back and watched Spaced, and then I've watched everything since then.
Yeah, I did watch them in a very similar order. But yeah, Spaced is one of those. It's right up there with Freaks and Geeks as a one and done show that deserves way more.
There's Sorensen, friend of the show and old friend of ours. Used to always kind of feel like he would have the inside track on a lot of stuff that I would like, food and everything else, just in general. And I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure I saw Shaun of the Dead and talked to him about it. And he told me about Spaced. And he was like, remember I told you about this show Space 2 years ago?
Right.
And I think he originally tried to get me to watch it. And I didn't, but in that order that I would have been smart. But that being said, Shaun of the Dead is one of those movies. If I start it, I'm going to finish it. I get pulled in. The jokes are so rapid fire. It's so fun, entertaining. The scenes, the editing, it's all done in a way that help. Like the Jackass movies are very much the same. I have that problem with Scott Pilgrim now, which is if it's on, it's edited so quickly and sharply. There's so many fantastic visual elements. The jokes are rapid fire and so on the nose to me. I love everything about it. And so if it's on, I end up watching the whole thing to the point where
the movie that changes your opinion of Chris Evans.
That's exactly right. Very much so. But I can't not watch it. So I have a problem with Edgar Wright's films. I think probably his editing style that just dragged me in. But that prompted us to say, like, what other movies are really hard to not, like, if I can't start it or else I'm going to want to finish it. Like, again, I mentioned Jackass because I can't turn that on for just a second, because even the lesser ones, like the later ones, I'm going to watch them all because it's hard to not keep going through each vignette.
Yeah.
You have those movies too, right?
Yeah, right. Absolutely. So, I mean, there's the obvious ones, the ones that everybody says, and it's actually the first one, complete opposite of Edgar Wright. This one does not have a lot of flashy cuts, but there's something about Shawshank Redemption that for a whole generation of people, I blame TBS because it played all the time,
right?
But it draws you in. But specifically for us, we've talked about many times The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
You start watching it, you're not stopping. Big Lebowski. If it's on, we're watching it. For me, The Breakfast Club. If I come into Breakfast Club, I don't care where, I'm watching.
Yeah.
Every time it comes on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movies that are like that, but for me, it's usually something more on the silly side. Sandlot, Stripes, little things. I'm like, where just the glimpse on the screen and I get this a rush of nostalgia. And I'm just like, oh, let me sit with this for a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm in.
And it pulls you in immediately.
Yeah.
You know, like Phantom of the Paradise with Garrett.
Yeah. Garrett
is a movie that is always associated with my dad. My dad passed away 3 years ago, I think. And the movie, it was never on any cable channels or whatever. We all have the DVD. The record album my dad's had. I grew up watching it. We're all very familiar in my family. It's a part of us, and it's because my dad loved it so much and shared it with us, which, again, Garrett Grams and that. It did start playing on, like, HBO or Cinemax or something right around the time my dad died. And the funny thing is, it was weird the first time it happened because I didn't think it was ever going to play anywhere.
Right.
But it starts playing, and I would watch it every time it was on because I do like it. I like pretty much everything about it. It would pull me in. Same thing, quick edits, all those kind of things like that. But recently, after my dad passed, I can't. When I turn the movie on, like within minutes, I'm bawling my eyes out. So hopefully someday I'll get back to the point where that'll be on that list. But there is another one that is not a comedy, because most of mine I feel like are comedies where the jokes are rapid fire or whatever. But Night of the Hunter pulls me in. If I see even the beginning, which is a little slower right off the bat.
Yeah.
But if I watch some of that, I'm gonna get pulled in. I'm gonna watch the whole thing. It's visually so beautiful. It's hard not to.
There's something about that one's not a true noir film, but it is a darker film. That there's something about that era of film. Charles Laughton famously was so distraught about over the process of directing and the critical failure that his movie was when it came out, that he never directed again.
Only wrote and directed one movie.
That was it, just that one. And it's a shame because it is a beautiful movie, but things like that, Double Indemnity, Sunset Boulevard, there are Casablanca, because the way that the tempo at which Adam Sandler speaks in Casablanca. No, the pace at which he speaks, and Humphrey Bogart, the tempo.
I'm sorry, I was just picturing all of Adam Sandler's buddies doing Casablanca, like rebooting it for Netflix, and it'd be like Casablanca, like DUHHHH.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
No, but there's something about
Rob Schneider. Yeah,
is Rob Schneider as in the Peter Lorre character.
Yeah. Drew Barrymore as Ingrid Bergman.
I was going to say Kevin James as the Ingrid Bergman character.
Oh Lord, no, Sidney Greenstreet.
They did Chuck and Larry.
He's the big guy. Yeah, they did do Chuck and Larry. But anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pull away from that.
No, there's something about.
I think we just gave Adam Sandler his next movie idea.
We did. If it happens, I want royalties.
I want a producer credit.
Yep. No, but you're right about. There's something about like Some Like It Hot. The dialogue. Philadelphia Story has the dialogue, and you're just like, ooh, let me sit down with this.
One of the ones on my list was the same thing. It's His Girl Friday.
That's the one I to be totally open, and I meant His Girl Friday, not Philadelphia Story. Though I do think Philadelphia Story is a great movie.
Has
His Girl Friday is
snappy dialogue.
Yeah, but His Girl Friday is like it's where the fast overlapping dialogue really started. Was His Girl Friday,
and that's why I think. At one point, it was the fastest, the most words in a script or whatever, most words per minute spoken in a movie for a very long time.
Yeah, 100%.
The front page from like 1931, which is the Howard Hughes produced one, the original.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that one.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it didn't feel so dated. The picture quality, they've never really done a really beautiful restoration yet. So it's good. I'm not saying it's not, but like you can tell you're watching something from 1931. But the dialogue and the audio kind of sucks a little bit here and there. But the dialogue is so phenomenal that also has this long sweeping tracking shot from 1931. Like, how big were cameras? This guy is moving his camera through a warehouse where they're printing newspapers and stuff.
They were literally putting them on train tracks to roll, right? Like they were using the big, the hand cart train track rails. It was a big deal.
Oh, brother, we're out though style.
Yeah. But anyways, that's another one. And it's on my list. That Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? A lot of those Coen brothers comedies. Because as much as I love A Simple Man.
A Simple Man, yeah. A Simple Man. As much as I love that one's not sucking me in every time it's on. It's a little bit No Country harder. For Old Men might.
Wow, that's No Country for Old Men.
I'm pulled by the visuals, much like
Anton Chigurh is the best non-horror villain. That's full stop, end of sentence. He is the best non-horror villain out there.
And the non-acting actors, the guy at the gas station who he flips the coin with, he's not an actor.
No, just a guy.
He was just a guy. He was the guy who ran that store, and they talked him into it. You can't tell that. And if you check something out, I was watching somebody who analyzed this movie. That scene with him in the gas station is 2 setups. I think it was Bill Hader talked about it. It's only 2 setups, which normally if you have a non-actor, you're going to have a bunch of setups. You're going to have the camera all over the place. You have to have coverage. His dialogue might not be good. If to get the intensity of the scene, you might want to edit some stuff in. There's 2 setups in that, which is, I don't know who else can do that but the Coen brothers. But it's like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, by the way. Same deal. I can't stop watching it, whether I see it from the very beginning. And by the time it builds so much to the point where they're almost getting to the cemetery, which I will tell everybody to leave me alone for half an hour to watch the cemetery scene, the climax of the movie, because it's so beautifully. I turn the volume up as loud as I'm allowed to in the world. It's so insanely good. Same deal,
And anything Quentin Tarantino ever made, every Quentin Tarantino movie, if it were on, I'm watching it.
Pulp Fiction pulls me every time.
Pulp Fiction the most. Yeah. Pulp Fiction the most, but anyone.
Kill Bill does a lot. Kill Bill
actually, you know what? I would assume, and grant I don't have cable anymore, so this doesn't happen very often. I get to deliberately choose my movies.
Yeah.
But I know if I were flipping channels and I came across Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Oh yeah.
That would suck me in, because like you were talking about earlier, it's very episodic and it's quick, and everything, it's little vignettes that all come together to tell a great story.
So I can tell you from the world of people with cable, because I still do have cable, it seems like it's on rotation 24 hours a day, that movie.
You can almost find it anytime.
No, it's the same channel. Basically, Christmas Story is Christmas, I think FXM or some movie channel, basically it's on a loop. Because I swear to God, I've never turned the TV on and it's not showing on like one of 3 different channels.
Right,
I'm
that's
not
hilarious.
kidding. They must have paid through the nose for the rights to show it, and they're like, "We're gonna show that.
We're gonna
shit
show
out of this movie.
Yeah, we're gonna get every penny. Every penny."
The Hangover also.
Yeah, that's a great choice.
But again, quick vignettes, fast little jokes. We look for the Ghostbusters poster. Straight
I was gonna say that's one right there. I have a Back to the Future poster around here somewhere. That's another one. One of my favorite movies ever, right there.
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, if that's on, I'm watching. It's catching me. I'm going deep.
I was gonna put the Marx Brothers because I'm so into Mozart stuff, but my wife pointed out that up until they start singing, or the whatever couple, because every one of those movies is the same. There's a young couple who are romantically entwined, who either can't be together, should be together, want to be together, and the Marx Brothers by the end help them get together. Always the same story.
Right.
I don't care about those. I usually do fast forward through that. So
you're not watching Coconuts?
Not. I will watch most of it. But when they start most of the singing, I kind of like, I could easily change the channel by that point and then forget what I was watching. Whereas other things like Caddyshack, it's again quick, fast vignettes. I was going to say Animal House originally, but I think Caddyshack plays more cartoony,
right?
And so it's easier to just
turn
my brain off.
Animal House is, as an adult watching Animal House, it is so much darker than I realized when I was younger.
Yeah.
It's a much more serious story that just happens to be funny.
Yeah.
That was
the intent of it.
And there's more depth to that.
That's what Doug, what's his name?
Kinney.
Was trying to Doug Kinney was doing with Caddyshack too.
Yeah.
That's why he was so upset.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why he was looking for somewhere to jump when he slipped.
It's the absolute best joke. At his funeral, he committed suicide in Hawaii. He jumped off a cliff. And at his funeral, who was it? Harold Ramis?
Because the medical examiner said that he slipped and fell. The medical examiner ruled it an accident, not a suicide.
Yeah.
So Harold Ramis famously says
at his funeral, when he's speaking, says he probably slipped trying to find a place to jump.
Yes.
Which no joking about suicide.
Suicide is not a funny thing, but
it's not. But these are comedians who knew him.
Joke. It's a joke that a true friend could say about their friend. I do believe that Douglas Kinney would have found that to be the funniest joke.
Yeah. 100%.
He would have appreciated that.
100%.
But it was ruled an accident, but his friends believe it was not an accident.
Yeah. If you want to know more, check out the Graham Chapman funeral with the Monty Python guys giving eulogies and speeches at his funeral, because they say a lot of fairly offensive
It's a
stuff.
They treat it as a roast.
And everybody's laughing, and there's nothing Graham Chapman would have wanted more from his Monty Python brothers than to make everybody laugh at his expense.
And if you want to know more about Douglas Kinney and his whole life, what's the documentary?
A futile and stupid gesture.
Yeah, futile and stupid gesture. Great little documentary.
What's its name? Will Sasso? No. Will. The other Will? There's too many Wills. Will Arnett, Will Sasso,
William P. Hayes.
No. But anyways, the guy from Last Man on Earth will.
Holy cow! Yeah,
I know. I should know his name.
Kirsten Shaw's husband in Last Man on Earth.
There you go. Anywho, he plays him beautifully. And if you want to know even more, go trace the roots of the National Lampoon's magazine, which is also a fantastic. I think it's called Drunk, Stoned, and Brilliant.
Yes,
it's on Hulu, I think. But anyways, both of those together show you not only where all the modern comedy came from, like all the comedy that we like now started built out of this stuff.
Right. Well, because Conan O'Brien is the next generation of the Lampoon writers from Harvard. And so he's that next step. And then now we have Bill Hader, who you just mentioned, who's the next line of that in that vein. He wasn't Lampoon, but he was Will Forte.
I know.
You're so good.
Just sneaking it in there.
Sneaking it in there.
I knew it all the time. I
just want to see if you'd get it. But yeah, there's a lot of our formative comedies are the ones that will suck you in. You'll watch from any point. Any movie that strikes nostalgia will do it. So a Goonies, those kind of things. But outside of a Coen Brothers comedy, an Edgar Wright movie, I'm trying to think who else today is making movies that will suck you in, like consistently.
I don't know, because I could easily turn off most of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, those don't suck me in.
Most horror films I could, but I'm not the fan that you are. But
even then, there are a lot of horror movies that that don't look appealing to me. I'm one of the more picky of the horror content creators out here.
You should host a podcast about it.
I should talk to people. I do love horror, but I am also a huge fan of specifically 70s and 80s horror. That's kind of my wheelhouse. That's where I like.
That's what I know more.
Yes.
We on Real Talk. I was a guest with can't remember who.
Mike and Serial X from Voices in the Mausoleum.
doing 10 top 10 90s horror movies, and I realized most of these I don't know. I haven't seen.
Yeah,
like the better ones. Like I was fading away from the genre by that point.
Right, and I watched a lot of them because I'm always hoping that someone will reignite the magic that I find in that. I like the campy. I like the slasher. I like that the over the top silliness of A Night of the Comet, those kind of things. Don't get me wrong. I like a lot. I like this the intellectual horror that like Robert Eggers is doing, The Witch, and those things. But that's different. Those don't play as horror. Those play as dramatic masterpieces. It's a different thing. I'm not a huge fan of Art the Clown from the Terrifier series. Okay. And other than Terrifier 3, I've seen all of them. I haven't watched Terrifier 3 yet. But I'm not a huge torture porn fan past the first Saw and the first Hostel.
I don't like the first Hostel.
The first Hostel is a good movie, but it's also a movie yes, it has those torture porn elements, but Eli Roth wrote a decent movie first.
Yeah.
And just
the rest of it kind of fit in there.
Yes. Yeah. Whereas Terrifier tends to have a lot less of a story and is more just an avenue to show practical
action beats and torture beats, and then string them together with some sort of
haphazard
story.
And I don't want to take anything away from the fact that Terrifier, Damien Leone, as problematic as he is right now, as a human
being. Leone? She wrote those?
Yeah.
From
Damien Leone.
Two Girls in a Pizza Place?
Starring Ryan Reynolds.
And Two Girls in a Pizza Place and a Terrifier? Is that what it's called? That was the original.
That was the original title. But no, he's a great practical effects guy because everything's practical effects. It's not digital. It's not CGI. It's all practical effects. And that's awesome. It's amazing. It looks really good, but it doesn't have enough story to really keep me engaged. That being said.
Yeah.
What do we want to talk about next? Oh, you know what? You brought up a couple of times in this episode. Shoot, what did you bring? I just had it and I lost it, bro. See, this won't get edited out. This is going to be right there in the recording.
You're stalling today.
No.
What did you? Brains no good. Work good now.
No good work at all. Anyways, we had a great idea. I had a great idea that because you kept bringing it up. And I was like, that's what we should talk about. Anyways, do you have any ideas what to talk about next time for the people to look forward to? Because obviously I don't.
I do know this is we had discussed the idea of doing New Year's movies. Just because I don't know. I'm trying to think of New Year's movies and things like that.
Right.
And like,
yeah, I mean, we could do we could do.
I think they get
movies
sentimental. That doesn't fit into my
right. Or we could do movies that pick a number that turn 30, that turn 40, whatever in 2026.
So, like, example is to pick movie. Let's discuss a handful of movies from 1990.
Right. That turn 30, 36, 1991, 91, that turn 35.
Oh my god.
We are so good at math, guys. We could do that. I honestly don't know where to go from here.
I still like the idea, because we had this discussion before we started this, and maybe you're not a huge fan, but comedy duos, movies and things like that are the
I love.
I will give you the Marx Brothers, the Three Stooges. They're not a duo, but a comedy team. But that kind of a parallel group, like Broken Lizard, kind of fits. But
I think comedy groups, but comedy duos, because you could talk about like the classics, obviously Abbott and Costello. You could talk about Martin Lewis, but then the odd ones,
Stiller and Mira.
Yeah,
I didn't really do any movies together though.
No, they didn't, did they? They didn't even really act together much at all.
They're documentaries out right now. Dude, what's going on with documentaries? There's 1,000 documentaries out. The Gene Wilder one's out. The Steve Martin one's out.
I want the Gene Wilder one to be streaming somewhere near me.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of, which is, I'm a fan. I like documentaries and biopics. But just still, seems like a rash.
I like that idea, because you can get into some of those lesser known comedy duos.
Yeah.
Or duos that just happen to do several comedies together. You mentioned Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
They teamed up for a couple of really good movies, couple not so good movies.
Yeah.
But I like the idea. I say we talk about some comedy duos next week. Comedy duos.
Since there's two of us, and we'll do two of those. And if there's
room for more than two on this couch.
I'm the size of two people, so it's the same. We just get a bunch of people and we talk about it. But we'll do comedy teams, comedy duos, and because I know there's some discussion to be had there. We started that earlier today.
I think that's a good idea. I like it. So everyone out there that listened to this, drop any ideas.
If you're still listening,
if you made it to this part of the show, go on to Real Talk on all the socials and start giving us some ideas of your favorite comedy duos. I'll put a post out this week, and I'll put a post out somewhere. Give us your list. I want to hear from people. Yeah, put them on a post-it, stick them on your fridge. I'll see them. But come follow us wherever you get podcasts. Real Talk. You'll find all of our shows there. Check out all our YouTube, our TikTok, Threads, and Instagram at Real Talk, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you enjoyed anything about the shenanigans we had going on today, make sure you leave us a rating, a 5-star review. Tell us what you like or what you'd like to hear about. It does more than warm my heart. This last week,
it gives us purpose.
Right. Well, in this last week, we had a great review that I honestly don't remember. I shared it with Dave, and it was just like, okay, like that one review is enough to keep me going for months. It just feels good when we see it, and we're like, okay, somebody cares, so let's keep going.
Yeah, 100%. What I would do this as long as people want to hear it.
Right.
If no one wants to hear it, then I'm just doing what I normally do, which is talking to myself in my car in traffic on the way to work.
Yeah,
which I do that too, but I don't think everyone wants to listen to it. Hopefully it's enjoyable. If you.
Yeah, I hope people like it. I hope you guys like it. I know Big Meanie likes it.
We're really thirsty here.
I know Big Meanie enjoys us. I know Mel enjoys us. Shout out Amy. But with that, I think we are the Couch Critics.
Let me say.
How do we end this thing? Let's put a bow on it, Dave.
That's all from the couch this week. Agree or disagree, we love it all.
Because here at Couch Critics, we're never yucking your yum. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.